Hi, I'm Stefano Tempesta, and thanks for joining me on this poster session about a confidential, decentralized identity. Do you know that over 1 billion people are unable to prove their identity? And this is not me making up this figure, it's the World Bank. Have a look at the article that you can see here on screen. Now, I'm pretty sure that you all agree the ability to prove one's identity is a fundamental and universal human right. But systems of identification are old-fashioned, archaic, insecure. They lack adequate privacy protection. What's the solution to that? We must take control of our own identity. And in saying this, I really mean the access of personal information. Where is this data? Where does it reside? Who is retaining your data? What kind of third parties are able to access this data? What they're doing with it? And with whom they are sharing it? These are the questions you want to ask before having access to identity information and share it with other parties. Obviously, we have been using digital identity for a long time. This is not something new, but digital ID offers not only vital services for being a digital citizen and connecting the modern economy, but also brings some risk. A new form of identity is really needed, a self-sovereign identity, something that we own and we can control. Self-sovereign identity is something that is based on decentralized digital identifier, DIDs, something that is user-generated, self-owned, and unique, that everywhere you go, it can be recognized. Also, these DIDs possess some unique characteristic like greater assurance of immutability, tamper-proof, and censorship resistance. Let's investigate how this is done. For example, organizations like the W3C are defining this decentralized identifier. But then there is a process that sees the user at the center of it, because the user is the owner of these DIDs, that deals with identity hubs, which is the topic of this conversation, and I'll get there in a moment. Universal resolver that resolve the identifier and then share it with third parties through a process of attestation and transaction that happens on a decentralized ledger. Can be blockchain, it doesn't have to be, but it's certainly a good place to start. Let's make an example of a university that issue a certificate of completion of study, your degree, your diploma, and what they do is they sign it with an algorithm like a hash, for example, that is unique for the specific content. The hash value is stored, say, on a blockchain, and it can be used to verify that content, like your certificate of degree, is not being tampered with in the longer term. That is a verifiable credential. It is stored in an identity hub attached to your self-sovereign identity. So what are these identity hubs? Holders of your identity credentials. And this is what I'm stressing on the importance of the identity hubs to be confidential. Holders should be able to choose where they store their credentials, and cloud provider should provide the infrastructure, multiple hubs around the world to create the necessary distributed network to hold securely these identifiers and verifiable credentials at scale. So what's the opportunity like for public cloud providers to offer these confidential identity hubs across multiple regions as a service? So focus on what they do the best, which is technology. It doesn't mean that we are removing government or other entities from the circle of trust here. Government are still there to issue the certificate and to verify them, but let them focus on what they do the best, which is dealing with the certificate, and let the cloud providers do what they do best, which is offer the technology to secure the infrastructure on confidential computing capabilities. So again, decentralized identity is not about removing authorities, removing governments. It's about helping governments focus on what they do best, which is issuing and verifying identity and credentials, and not storing and securing it. This is the business of technology cloud providers that can offer this as a service on confidential computing infrastructure. There is so much more I can talk about DIDs and the architecture reference for decentralized identity. So please get in touch and we'll take it from there. Enjoy the rest of the summit. Bye.